Hi guys, this is something different I'm gonna be touching on today. Um, I've been inspired, especially from other readers and stuff on YouTube. And I've been working on stuff behind the scenes, but one thing that is I find is important to me is what's going to happen to the UK. We have changed governments, so I'm going to do like a government review. This is going to be it's not going to be all set in stone. I'm just going to see what comes out in the tarot, and it's going to, it's going to be good for me to sort of test the waters a little bit and get out of my comfort zone more so. There's been some things that's come up with the government, and I don't really follow politics, don't really understand it. I'm not I'm not really, I'm more like living in from day to day and stuff. I don't really follow it, to be honest, and I don't understand the long words and stuff. As you know, I'm dyslexic. Um, but one thing that's like really coming apparent for me is like the benefit system in the UK, how it stands now and where it's going to go over the next year or so, or continue basically what they've got in lined up, how it's going to affect others. Also, the housing crisis as well. And I know it's bad because I'm like on the housing list myself, trying to get a bigger property for personal reasons. So it is bad. I can remember being on the housing list before, and it was never this bad. But I mean, I'm fortunate that we are lucky in what we've got. But there's many like families out there that are struggling. They are like they haven't got they haven't got a home to go to, or people on the streets. Now, all these are like kind of important for me. My personally, my my half brother, should I say, he lived on the streets for a number of years, and then he passed at 21, so he was a very young man, and he used to get, I won't go into the personal thing. And me as a single mum, on benefits for many years, and then when we got the tax credits in and I worked for 16 hours and the support system that we had around that, and it was hard going. It wasn't easy, so I have had, I have lived that life. And, although I work full time now and, and I bring an income in, it still can be hard going. With the NHS as well, it's really hard to get a doctor's appointment in the NHS and stuff. And I don't know, I just want to sort of be nosy, I suppose, and have a look and see what is going on. And maybe I can get a prediction or give some hope, to people that are struggling right now. If I'm not looking up the camera director, this is all just new. This is new. So it's new practice thing. So yeah, so I'm going to be touching on disabilities, housing crisis, the NHS. I'm going to look into the tax year as well. Like I said, I do not understand the dynamics of it. I have watched a few tarot channels that does it, and some of the stuff they're saying I don't really understand, but they understand. They're more informal when it comes to the politics side of it. Me, I'm just gonna just do the tarot, and it might be googly gook in it, but who's this? I don't know. I mean, we'll see. So we're gonna look in the 2025 and see where we stand as a nation, and what is the government plans, and what do we need to consider for her part, and how we can sort of manage it, I suppose, the best way we can. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the reading, and I will be back, and yeah, see you in a jiffy. we're back. Okay, right. I got the zombie tarot I'm going to be using. So we're going to see. I thought it was appropriate for the government. But yeah, right. This is entertainment purposes only, not facts. This is just me reading the tarot and seeing what I can pick up and like, you know, what comes up in the cards and that, the meaning of the cards and my interpretation on it and stuff. So let's have a look. So what can we expect from the government? What can we expect from the government for 2025? What can we expect from the government for 2025? I have got notes, so I might be turning around a bit to just look at my notes. But what can we expect from the government for 2025? What can we expect? Right, okay. That is so weird. That card when I work, so generally what I do, right, is like I test the cards out. So beforehand, so I shuffle and then I, you know, I put that, and the star came out here, right, and it just reminded me of Starmer, you know, in the sense of like the Starmer, yeah, right, okay. I'm not saying he's a star. I'm just saying the Starmer thing. So kind of ironic what we can expect. Okay, by the looks of what we can expect from the government is they're really looking into taking initiative, trying to build a foundation. Again, I'm not a supporter of politics in the sense of like I've probably got to get ridiculed for that a lot. But I just but this is what I'm picking up with the star card. The star card is a hopeful card, yeah. So they're hoping really to gain some kind of control. Control here. You look at, I mean, if you look at the Four of Wands, that's usually sense of stability, but it's a bit of a chaos. So I feel like the nation is what we're seeing, what we're not seeing, probably, well, we'll have a look at what we're not seeing, but I feel like they're trying to build a foundation here. So so that's what they're looking into, is trying to build this foundation for the, you know, for us, right? I got to give it as I see it. Okay. So what's going on behind the scenes with the Four of Wands? Because it looks chaotic, doesn't it? It looks real chaotic. And if you look at the Queen of Hazard, she's like, her arms are off, it's severed. So there is, I feel like there is underlying stuff that they haven't told us or have said, you know. So we'll have a look. So we'll have a look on that. The Hierophant card. I feel we're being protected. I feel like we're being protected. We don't know the full, they're not showing the full facts. This is, the Hierophant card is like, I mean, it's looking at news. So you see the Hierophant. I'm not going to go by the meaning of the card, but if you look at the Hierophant card, is reading the news. I feel like there is chaos going on behind the scenes that we're not alerted with, what I just said earlier. And they're in hope of trying to overcome this. Okay. All right. So what is their motive? What is actually their motive? Like I said, I'm not siding with anyone, by the way. Just putting out what I can see in the cards. They're at a crossroads at the moment. They're at a crossroads. there's decisions that they've got to make with the two of swords. It is one of those situations. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But if you don't make if you don't make a decision, then you'll be stuck. So you can't. You gotta do something. You gotta make, and it whatever you do is not gonna be it's not gonna be benefit. It's gonna affect somebody, in the making. So where do I go? Where do I go? What do I sever? Literally, what do I sever to grasp hold of something else? Now the three of right, okay, let's have a look. Three of Wands, the Nine of Hazards, Nine of Pentacles. They I think what's happening with they're going in harsh, they're going in full thing. So I wonder if they have what's going on behind the scenes. They had to make a decision, and it wasn't great. Like I said, they're damned if they do, and if they damned if they don't. So they had to sever things. Now they're going full force with the Three of Wands. So they're looking at that. Look at it. Look, they're breaking down. They're breaking down the walls, which in hindsight, if you look, that's zombies breaking down, and it's going to affect families. It is going to, we're going to have like a effect to fit families, but their eventual game is to bring independence in, eventually to bring that independence in. I'm really surprised at this reading. I was expecting a real like toxic reading, but I'm not. I'm seeing it kind of, and like I said, I'm just surprised. I'm surprised what I'm picking up here. Okay. But unfortunately, we're not getting the communication, are we? We're not getting that communication of what's going on and what their motive is. So, yeah, I am really surprised at that because I'm not keen on government, so gotta be honest. So, how are the people feeling about this? How's the people feeling about this? As a nation, I know that there's like questions. There's and like we've had stuff stripped from us, which has not been great. Which is really it makes you feel like the government is against you, not for you. The idea is that we're trying to keep ourselves above water here. You know, we had all these ideas in the beginning, when we put our votes in, and now we feel like it's a sinking ship, and we feel like we're that this is going to get worse. That's how the people are viewing it. Okay. So how's it looking for the Prime Minister right now in the government? I think he's turning heads at the minute. It is creating problems. Nine of Swords, yeah, look, stress. So it's not looking great for for Starmer. There's really a struggle going on in the government, in the Labour side of it. There's a lot of people in the government as well as not agreeing what is being done as well. Okay, yeah, they're not happy with the event. So it's affecting a lot of people. It's not only affecting us as a nation. It's affecting people in the government. They're not agreement. They're not really shaping up. So it's not really looking good for Starmer at the moment. There's a bit of a loss going on there. He's losing support. He's losing support. And some are going to the other side. That's how I see it. you know, that stress level there. Okay, all right. So where do we stand for 2025 with all this going on? Where do we stand with all this going on? Page of hazards. Okay. It's questionable. It's really questionable. The devil card can be like manipulation. How am I viewing that? Ace. Now, bear in mind, right? With this, you know, I clear my decks before I begin, and I put them all up right. The Ace of Swords is reversed. I can't even remember what our question did. Bloody brain fog, innit? Yeah, It is questionable. We're trying to stay positive as a nation. We're trying to sort of like be hopeful and that. It is being mindful of like the scaremongering that is going on, because things is not always as they seem either. Um, so I feel like it's going to cause great confusion with the nation, especially where they stand, especially financially as well, which we're going to look, you know, we'll look into. Um, yeah, so there's a bit of a mixed bag going on, you know. There, so I would say that the intentions with Starmer at the moment is he's trying to break cycles and changes and stuff, but that comes with sacrifices, especially with the Two of Swords that came into it, which is not going to be helpful for a lot of people, you know, so that's not going to be good, is it? Which then is going to cause even more problems in the long run. So it's not really looking good at all on that aspect. And it's like we're caught up. Two of Wands is like we can't go nowhere. We you know, Ace of Wands is like we've got the idea, we got the idea, we're sort of like, and then the Two of Wands is we're trying to still figure things out, you know, and with the lack of clarity that's going on, it's like who do we trust? So what can Starmer do to um, give us a bit more hope? What can Starmer do to give us a bit more hope? The advice they would give. Being really cautious in what decisions he makes. And kind of like being more proactive in his plans as well with the Queen of Wands. You got the King and the Queen here. It, he needs to really consider the people when it comes to making these decisions and how it will affect them. To be honest, with the Lovers cards, it's about choices. Okay, all right, let's have a look. Five of Pentacles. That's something that's like out of pocket. There's got to be another solution. He's got to look at her. So the Queen of Wands is like looking at the actions about things, you know, like going into detail, doing, you know, she juggles things. Yeah, she needs to really juggle. She's a hard worker. The Five of Pentacles is like there is a solutions around it, but It's looking a bit chaotic, isn't it? Here. He really needs to really weigh up his options. Definitely. His intentions is trying to help, but I think it's causing more harm than help, and people are losing faith in this person. So yeah, it's causing fears. It's causing problems and fears with other people. So really what I would say what it's trying to say is he really needs to consider his options and really look into his commitments. I think he's trying to do too much, and he's going to end up, maybe he needs to give some responsibility away, that to people that actually know what they're talking about. No disrespect, because I don't know the guy. I don't know his thing. Entertainment purposes only. I've watched the channels. They say entertainment purposes only, not facts, just fictions. Take it how you want to suit. But yeah, it's not looking. I would say it's not looking great. We're sort of like building a picture here. Thing. So okay. So how's it going to affect the tax year? How will it affect the tax year? Because they say we're going to increase your money and then we're going to take it away. I feel like we're being taxed on taxed on taxed. And I don't know if it's like I don't know if it's like the spiritual awareness I'm having, or it's just like as you get older, you start taking these glasses off and start thinking, hang on a minute, I feel like I'm getting taxed on taxed on taxed. Yeah. Knight of Wands. Someone's going to take the risk. They're going to put an end to a few things. Do you know what? I think it is gonna be one of those where they're gonna take the risks and stuff, but it's gonna end up. It could end up potentially changing more possibilities in for the future. That it will play out. It will play out. Or maybe they're looking at taking some risks to do around the taxes, but they're gonna, something is faltering behind the scenes as we've seen, and now the death card has come up to say that there's going to be a change. So there will be a change for the better eventually, but I think we're going to be feeling the pinch for a while. We've got the Three of Cups and the Empress card, so there's improvements a bit later down the line, but I feel like that for the first while, I think they're going to scratch I think they're going to scratch something. Seeing the hands. I think they're going to scratch something. Scrap something. They're going to end something. So whether there's talks happening right now, what their intentions are going to do, and they're gonna look it in and think, nah, it's not gonna work, so let's just scrap it. And the Cups and the Empress card is gonna be a happy, that is gonna work in our favor as a nation. Okay. Yeah, where we can balance it, so that it's like balancing the books. It's gonna balance the books a little bit. I don't know. We'll see in it. Not facts. Not facts. All right. Okay. So another thing that's concerning me is the NHS. And how's that going to start looking? And so we're going to look into the NHS. So past, we've had to stay strong, you know. It has really, like, you think of the bullet, it's like its effect, it has created a lot of effect, and we've had to be strong in that. So the present situation with the NHS, how it's looking. Eight of Wands. There's going to be some movement. There's going to be some shifts going on. Although, when you hear the news and stuff, and when you try and phone the doctors and that, it's not really looking hopeful, is it? But that's okay. So for the future of 2020, in 25, how can we see the NHS? The world. Some cycles is going to be completed with the world card. So I think I see some improvements happening. So there's already something being put into play here that's going to strengthen that. It's not been we haven't had really a great thing with the strength card. It has been testing times there. But we'll see. Okay. We'll see. This is good for like for the for benefits and disabilities. Now, like I said, I've been on the receiving end of that, and it's not as cut as dry as people think. They should be working. It don't work that way. Until you've gone through it yourself, you don't know. You don't know. And having a disability or like a severe, it don't just affect you physically, it affects your mind as well. So it can create a lot of blocks in your mind as well. And I know that because I've had to build myself back up, and I'm lucky enough I'm working now. I'm still not working I say I'm working full time, but I'm still not working to the equivalent that I could, for a 50-year-old woman could work, but I'm managing to pay my bills. I can cover my bills now without needing support from the government, but that wasn't always the case. So, let's be kind, please. Yeah. Temperance card. Okay, recent past. Well, Knight of Cups. All right, okay. Yeah, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy for the people that's on benefits and stuff. There is going to be like a small increase here, but it's not gonna, in the long run, I feel like that people on a low income is going to struggle a bit. What's the solution around it? Nine of Wands. Should have shuffled really, shouldn't I? Solution around it. It's going to cause so the solution around this. Because with the Four of Cups, that means there's opportunities that they're not seeing, or something that they can look into. Page of Cups. I know, right, from experiences, that you don't get told what you can claim for. You kind of got to find that out for yourselves. So look at other possibilities, and I did get help. Like, I don't know if it's around now, but I did get support and help with my gas and electric and stuff at one time. And that wasn't benefits, that was a separate body. So speak to your housing officers and stuff, and they may be able to help. It's not fully the answers, unfortunately, but it'll just keep you afloat, Other solutions, I used to go to to the shops, and I used to go like at certain times of the day and get stuff that's off on sale. Although they're still that's quite expensive. It's still even expensive then, and I would like get vegetable because it's all cheap. It was cheaper, so it was kind of actually I help ate probably better in some respects, although sometimes not. Okay, right. Housing crisis. Now this is one that is personal to me, and I know there's quite a few people in my personal life that is like in a situation that is not great, and they're waiting for a property. So, okay, so the housing crisis, what can we expect from the government with the housing crisis? Not getting a good feel with the housing crisis thing. Night of hazards. Yeah. Yeah, see, I didn't feel something's hidden there. Yeah, it got the key there. It's like we're going to go back to the old-fashioned roots where families lived with families, and that's the feel I'm going to get. Although the houses are smaller now, so it's going to make it even more harder. What can we expect for the future for the housing crisis? So I feel right that the government's not really looking into it properly when it comes to that. They've got other things that they're trying to resolve, and they're not really paying attention to that right now. Ace of Pentacles, I feel like, in the future, they're gonna have to do something. They're gonna have to do something, so I feel like there will be some movement when it comes to that. So it's it's not looking great for the housing crisis is at right now, but I feel like the future they're going to have to put something in place. Financially, they're going to have to put something in place, or they will put something in place financially, and it's going to move quite quickly. Ten of Pentacles, that's the Ten of Hazard, that's your family home. So I feel like they'll have to resolve the issue here, but is hanging in the balance at the moment. They're not really considering that at the moment. So we're kind of left to our own devices right now. Six of Hazard, Six of Pentacles. Yeah, it's not looking, I think it will benefit later on down the line, but I'm not really getting a good feel for it at the moment, to be honest. But I feel like there will be a budget system that comes into play. Whether we will see that after the tax year that they're going to put into it, I don't know. We can look into that later on. We can do a test reading on that. Now, I did have other cards out, but I don't feel I want to bring bring them out at the minute. So what can we do as a nation? What can we do as a nation? Really, I would say like holding back on certain plans, is having that preparation, being prepared. Um, no, I'm not scaremongering or anything, but just taking care of your own. Um, Eight of Cups is like they're walking away. Ten of Wands, so looking after yourselves, really. Looking after yourselves and your well-being. King of Wands. Bit concerned with the Ten of Wands. See, if the Chariot card was upright, it would mean, you're taking things by the reins, taking charge. But because it's reversed, I feel like we're being held back anyway. So there's not a great deal. I mean, we can support each other through those hard times, and if you've got that extra meal in your, extra meal, you know, give it to a neighbor, that's struggling, offer them rang for tea or whatever, just doing the neighborhood stuff. I would say to take care. Um, but that's not from the cards. That's from me personally. Um, so hope for the future. What can we hope for? Because I don't. Oh my God, three cards. Detachment. Try to stay detached away from scaremongering. Right. Taking care of your health and follow your intuition. You know. I know myself. I'm gonna stop there. I think that's enough. But I know myself. Oh, I know myself personally is right. The worst situations I could ever think I was in. I always seem to got through it with the help and support of family and friends. I had that support network, but and there was many a times I thought, oh, I'm gonna lose my home. I was getting threats, court dates and stuff because I couldn't afford to pay the bills because I wasn't earning. I was off sick at the time. And the pressures is terrible, and you don't feel you're going to out of the other side. But I did, and I suppose it is, for me, it is like taking charge of your life, and you can only do the best you can. Um, Health wise, if I'm not well, and you guys know that's watched me for some time now, if I, especially when I come on the live videos, if my energy's not great, I might stay for an hour and then go because I got to listen to my body. Otherwise it affects the rest of my week. So just know your limitations of what you can do as well. And Google is great. I used to sort of like, if I had vegetables and stuff like that in the cupboard or, in the fridge or whatever, I would Google recipes up. And because I've got all the spices in and stuff, I used to make stuff up. So I tried different recipes. So there was ways around it. It's like, shower gel. I used to just buy bubble bath because the bubble bath would last longer, and use that, to wash with. It's just like little tips and tricks that I would take while you go through these situations. It's going to be a testing year, I think, for us as a nation. And I think us pulling together as a nation and just helping thy neighbour, getting back to the old way of, when we were in like little villages and stuff, I used to be in a little village, and, we could we supported one another. Yeah, But yeah, I'm going to leave it as that. We just have to see what happens, and hopefully we will have a better improvements with the NHS, and yeah, we'll get through this as a nation, and that yeah. But I think the intentions um, with the government is means well, but I think it's going to cause more problems. Allegedly. Entertainment purpose only. Anyway, I'm going to leave it as that. I hope you enjoyed the reading. Sending love your way. And sorry it's so long. You don't realise, do you? It's just like waffle. Lots of love. Take care. Speak soon.